And notice, look at my hand. That's carpal tunnel, people. Okay. Oh, God. Here it goes. Oh, okay. Oh. That's getting the better of me. Okay. God, no. What's up, Hardly? What you doing, boy? Huh? Are we here by the edge of the wood? We are indeed. The woods are right there. It's very dark. It looks like my camera lens is dirty. Hold on. There we go. That's better, huh? A little bit, maybe. Here's Buddy. Uh-oh. Buddy has a bug. Buddy doesn't like insects. That's me. What do you smell? You smell something in the woods, Hard? Huh? Well, this is our cooking apparatus. This is new. This is a homemade wood-fired grill. We've got 4 cedar poles, and on top of that, some boilerplate that has been used as a sled at some point. There's some pipes that have been welded to it to kind of be like a runner, but it's just boilerplate, and there is a culvert end here in the cover from a lawnmower grass catcher, and if you open it up, inside there's a fire pit. Not the easiest thing to clean out. God, no. Anyway, that's down now. Not the easiest thing to clean out. But if you debark your wood and whatever, and burn only decent stove wood, well, that's to be cooked stove wood, which would be hardwood that's been cut into proper sticks or stick wood for the cook stove. If you burn that in here, then you know you'll be fine. And notice, look at this. Look at my hand. See, it's all red and swelled up. Isn't that gross? That's carpal tunnel, people. And that is why the videos are just not coming along. And the streams, like it's bad. I thought I had a handle on that, but I guess not. But anyway, so I'm going to be cooking in this for the 4th of July, which is Friday. We're super excited about that. Here's a utensil hanger and a little place to rest your whatever's there. So we're going to be burning oak in this. You can see here, there's a red oak over here that's been cut up, and we haven't split it yet. This was from a limb from a tree that got struck by lightning just the other day. There was a storm blew through, lightning hit a red oak back on the farm, knocked a big limb off right on the road. So we cut that up, and we've got it cut up here into chunks. It's drying out pretty daggone quick in the heat and the breeze we've got going. Yeah, I'll show you what we've cut up for stick wood in just a minute. We'll go over there. I'm going to try to get this cover back up. With one good hand, it's not going to be easy. Well, let's see. It's not heavy. It's just a little awkward and whatever. Okay. Oh, God. Here it goes. Oh, okay. Oh. That's getting the better of me. Okay. That's good. More or less. Okay. So let's walk over here and look at the stick wood that we've cut up. Poor old Dad, he's had to do most of the work because of my hand. And I've just got over being sick with a terrible cold for about 3 weeks, so I just can't seem to get ahead, and it's getting kind of old, but I'm trying to stay positive. And I don't want to get too down in the dumps, but I have to admit I'm pretty much there. That's why I'm out here, and maybe the sun will help me. Anyway, if you live near the edge of the woods, I want to say this before we go. You see these little fellas here? if you live near the edge of the woods and you want trees for your landscaping, well, in the spring and summer, if you pay attention, you'll have all kinds of little seedlings come up. These are all white oaks from acorns buried by squirrels, which live right here. There's another one. There's all kinds of them here. And they're all children from this big white oak here that I'm sure you've seen in my other videos many times. This tree is very large. It's about 120, 130 feet tall. And I would say somewhere around 250 years old. Just about the same age as our country. We'll be having the 249th birthday, Friday, July the 4th. Next year is the big 250, which is a huge accomplishment. I hope the place doesn't go all to hell before then. You can see some more oak seedlings here. These are at least a year old here, and they're a little bit taller. Now these are not white oak. We can tell that by the shape of the leaf. I don't have a white oak here leaf. You can see a mature white oak leaf. Excuse me. The ones on the seedlings you can't really tell much about, but these are actually black oak. We can tell that by the shape of the leaf. You see how it's fairly broad and it has these sharp peaks. It's serrated and they're sharp on the end. They come to little points. You can see that here on this one pretty well. Get into focus. You see? It looks similar to red oak, and young forestry students will often have trouble discerning the two. If you need to know for sure and you can't tell by the leaves, you can bore into the bark. Red oak will have white meal that will come out, white dust will come out of the in the bark, and if you bore into the bark of a black oak, it'll be yellow. But an experienced forester can look and see what they're looking at by the leaf. Of course, very experienced foresters don't even need leaves. You can just look up into the trees in winter and tell by the shape. Of course, that's one of the benefits of living here by the edge of the wood and in the wood all my life. There it is, the summer woods. It's very hot, very muggy up there right now, but it'd be a pleasant place to be if you were out in the field working and you wanted to take some respite. For sure, you go to the edge of the woods, sit down, have a nice drink of water and rest. This field used to be in tobacco. You see, it's highly disused now, but excuse me, this field used to be full of tobacco all the way the length of it. It's quite large. It's bigger than it looks. Looks can be a little bit deceiving because of the lay of the land. It's quite a ways up to that corner up there. But growing tobacco is not really a thing in this part of the world anymore, and that's part of why our economy is in the dumps. Let's go around this way. You can see there's a fern there, barely holding on. Virginia creeper here, growing. And here we have some lovely hostas. The hostas have bloomed so well this year, more than they have any other year, I think. It's probably because it was so wet in the spring. In May, out of 31 days, 28 were rainy. Very unusual for us. It was also very cool in May. It's been relatively cool in June up until the last week or so. It's warm today. It's about 85 Fahrenheit. Last week at this time it would have been about 95. But you see these hostas here. They love shade, and they have these beautiful purple flowers on them. We're getting close. You can see them there. Very intricate bloom. Pull out here. And they bloom and fade from the bottom up. You can see here there's an interloper right here. You know what that is? That's right, that's poison ivy. A lot of poison ivy in this place. We'll have to worry about him later though. But he won't bother us if we don't bother him. There's another Christmas fern growing out here. It's a native fern. Trying to get a little bit of sunlight here. Ferns, of course, like the shade too. Now, the hosta, there's this one here on the edge, which has always gotten too much sun. You see what kind of shape it's in. I need to dig it up and move it. It's been there for years. I keep saying that, and I just never do it. There are actually some pets buried here. This area here marks some pets burial grounds. A little miniature pet cemetery here. So that's part of the reason why I hate to disturb that. And the foliage around here used to be different, so this got more shade, but it no longer does. And over here we have the pampas grass, which of course you know Biggie used to like to make his den in there. You see, that's a great big plume of grass, tuffet, if you will. Great big old thing. Later, when it seeds, it will send out these great big stalks that are very, very high. They'll be up, you know, up here, like that, and they'll get this fluffy stuff on them, and the seeds will fly off into the great beyond. Now, it doesn't look like Biggie's been sleeping in there this year because I can't see where he went in. Let me back up here so you can see the full extent of it there. It's quite large. Quite a large thing. It looks like a bush, but it's really just a mound of grass. I don't know where this originally came from. It's not native to this area. But this actually marks a pet grave as well. It was originally a very small tuft of grass. It came from a region around here, a natural mineral spring. And this grass was just there. There used to be a famous resort over there. Franklin Roosevelt, when he was Attorney General of New York, would come to this place before he was president and bathe in the mineral waters. Of course, he was crippled from polio. And I'm assuming that this grass was probably part of the landscaping of that resort at some point. There was also a big train station and a depot back there, so a lot of activity. And I assume, like I say, this grass was probably used in landscaping back there at some point, because that region, that little area, it's literally behind those woods and down the backside of the ridge is where the resort is, so it's very close. There's no resort there anymore. Mineral spring resorts were a kind of a fad of the early 20th century. And there were 7 springs there with 7 different mineral contents in the water. And of course they used to believe people would bathe in those, it would heal their afflictions. And Roosevelt liked coming down here, so he would hang out there and bathe in the waters. He probably had a mistress around here too somewhere. But anyway, Biggie used to make his bed in here. There is a puppy that was buried here over 30 years ago. In the midst of this, there is a young one's grave. Biggie didn't seem to care about that, but maybe he knew somehow, and he was comforting the spirit of our baby that died all those years ago. He was a sweet boy. His name was Buford, and he was a little hound dog. He got distemper and passed away. All right, so around here, I'll show you one more thing about what's going on around here. It's been a while since we've done an update video. I've been busy and quite ill, really, but we shall persevere. Here we have that oak, a couple of wheelbarrows here of red oak, drying in the sun. Now, you would not normally want to dry your wood in this way, but unless you're using it for this purpose, which this purpose being burning it for cooking. Red oak makes very, very good wood for cooking. It puts out a lot of heat and leaves a nice bed of hot coals. Now, we know it's red oak. How do we know it's red oak? Well, we knew it was a tree that was cut, but if you only see wood, already cut up like this, and you want to know what it is? Well, one thing you can look for is the grain. Let me get this up here where you can see it. This pattern you see here is with all these little stripes, these little bitty stripes, little lines in there. That's very indicative of oaks of many kinds. Now, we know that it's red oak specifically by the pattern that we see there. White oak has a similar pattern, but it doesn't have this reddish color. It also has a different smell. I mean, obviously you can't smell the thing in the video, but that red oak, it has a very characteristic smell. Ah, it's good. Let's get off of there, fly. Yeah, so this is stick wood. Now, if you're using a cook stove inside, you'd probably, most of your stick wood, you'd cut up more like this. Those of you out there who use a cook stove, this is, you know, pretty small kind of piece. And Grandma or Mama, she would have been very particular about how she wanted the stick wood cut up. We're cooking on an outside grill, essentially, so you know, you can be a little bit bigger, but you still want kind of small pieces. But this is some here. This will be more than enough to grill the ribeyes and pork chops that we're going to do for the 4th of July. But while you're drying it, you might as well dry it. Notice there's no bark. You don't want the bark because the bark just makes ashes. It doesn't really put out a lot of heat. And, you know, ashes are fine. You want to save those to put on your onion bed later. All you gardeners, that's a good tip. Wood ash is very good to sprinkle on your onion bed before you plant it for the year, or as you're planting it. So save the wood ash for that. But when you have a stove, you want to clean out as little as possible. Don't burn the bark. Also, if we were worried about a chimney, the bark will gum up the chimney more with creosote. So get as much bark as you can off of the wood. Get it nice and clean like this, and it's ready for what you need it for. This wood has been cut for about 4 days, and it's already just about dry. It dries out quick when you cut it up, leave it out in the sun, let the air blow over it. Now again, if you're drying wood to work it, you know, to make things out of it, do not dry it this way. you want to dry it slowly, very, very slowly, because this causes the grain to pop and split and do all kinds of funny things. But if you're just burning, in fact, you can see here, this rapid drying is what's caused this. You see? That's also what's caused this. Right? But for burning, this is fine. If you're wanting this wood for figure carving, which these sticks, these blocks would be pretty good size for that, particularly over here. You wouldn't want to dry the wood this way. You would want to leave the wood in as big a pieces as possible with the bark on, and coat the ends with wax and put it up somewhere dry but away from the sun. And I have several plum logs over in the loft of the barn that are coated with wax that I'm drying for just that purpose. When you put them up, they'll be very heavy, but when you go back to them, even after a year, they won't be ready in a year, but even after a year, they'll already be only 40% of the weight that they were when you first put them up. After 2 or 3 years, they'll be ready to work. So if you are putting up wood to work, you have to be a patient person. This is why I guess there's a market for kiln-dried wood. But this is a whole lot cheaper in terms of money outlay. But of course, you have a hell of a lot of time tied up if you're making wood for figure carving or that sort of thing. If you're making spoons, you just used green wood, so you don't have to worry. Oh, sorry, hardly. I didn't know you were behind me, man. If you're making spoons, you usually carve those out of green wood, so you don't have to wait at all. So that's usually pretty good for your business. But I tell you, with a hand like that, I'm not going to be carving anything anytime soon, am I? Anyway, I guess that's about that. There's Buddy and Hardly and Ted somewhere. I don't know where everybody's at. It's hot, like I said. It's sunny. Everybody is off someplace cooling it, and that's where I think I will be. I think I've been out in the sun too long, but I thought some sunshine might help with my joints and that sort of thing. I normally keep my wrists braced, and like I say, I've tried to keep my keyboard and chair and all that stuff set the way that it should be set for, you know, preventing carpal tunnel and injuries of some sorts, of those kinds of sort. But it seems like it just keeps on coming back. I swear. This demon just won't get off my back, you know? It's just, oh, it's driving me nuts. But I appreciate your patience. And hopefully the content will just keep on getting better. I hope so, if I can make it. But anyway, your prayers would be appreciated. And as is your patience. And that'll be it for me. I guess it's time to say goodbye for now. Remember, wherever you are, whenever you are, I'll see you next time. And be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Your support, no matter how you choose to show it, always means the world to me. Leave me a comment too. I really like to talk with you. Chatting with folks on YouTube is really the best part. So, yeah. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.